All right, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where, as always, we're burning the damn house down.
Uh,
And it's not because you pissed off a customer and they're not paying you or the project went to shit. It's because in order for you to become the champion that you're meant to be, we're going to have to burn some things down and rebuild them right on up. And we know you're not tuning in to just hear from Ron Nussbaum. You're here to hear from our amazing guests. And today is no different. Kevin, it is fantastic to have you here with us today.
oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. This is a blessing, man. Love following the show, man.
Awesome. Well, before we jump in, why don't you tell all the champions out there a little bit about yourself?
I am the founder of Contractor Envy. We are a contractor community that helps you start, grow, and even get your contractor's license here in the state of Kansas. And man, it is exciting. I'm still a general contractor myself. So I speak from experience and I'm going through the journey just as we consult with our other contractors. So it's hands-on with me, man. This is my life.
Awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in there. I'm going to ask you the million dollar question.
Yes,
And
sir.
that is, what makes a construction champion? Hey, construction champions. It's your host, Ron Nussbaum here. And I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.
Leadership, man. I think a construction champion, he learns from his mistakes. He puts together those processes that make sense for everyone involved, man, and builds, teams. So that's to me, that's a construction champion.
Absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
leadership is so important in every aspect of any business.
Mhm.
But when in construction, we have a lot of moving pieces. And I think it becomes even more important than it does in a lot of other industries. I mean, you have office, you have field workers. So how do we as an industry or as a company develop that like in our people?
You know, what's really interesting right now, I've been in the trade for over 20 years. I started in the field, and right now, this week actually, we're closing on a new building. And I decided after all the years of being a project manager and general contracting and touching a little bit of everything, we were going to specialize. And so, with this process as well, it got into dealing with a team that I had to oversee marketing, sales department, field operations, accounting now, because, the operation's a little bit bigger and it needs more processes than just me putting on a tool bag, going out on the job, finishing and getting the check.
Mhm.
So it's very important, if that answered that question.
Well, yeah, I mean, leaders. as we grow, and you're going to get me off on another thing here now, is
Yep.
because like being specified. I'm working with Bunker Labs. We got a group of 35 veterans right now that we're helping transition into construction. And one of the things I find myself weekly talking to them about is figure out what you're going to do and just be the best in your area at that.
Yes.
Don't be like, oh, it's construction. We can do everything, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for headaches. So let's dive down to that. Since you just recently made that decision, what was the what was the aha moment that made you just say this is what we're going to do?
Well, just what you said, knowing what you're good at. All right. I was doing kitchens and bathrooms as a project manager on a high level for so many years that, it became second nature of just getting it done. There wasn't too many problems that you run into that, it took a lot of time to problem solve on. And
Mhm.
so I had to say, all right, I'm getting stuck in these processes on jobs that, you're like, hey, let's do a addition or a second level addition and all these other things. And it wasn't really what was making me, wake up every day and feel good about it. It wasn't like I was actually serving my customer with all of my attention. It was more like I was following the dollar. I was doing whatever it took to get the dollar. And
Mm.
so I just said, you know what makes me happy when I wake up? What am I really good at? And boom, took one day for me to say, all right, well, this is what I'm about to do.
I mean, I believe that, and there is so much power in that. But what we hear is like, oh, I can't just pigeon myself in one thing, or oh, what am I going to do with all this other stuff? And I say you find somebody to give that work to, because it
Yes.
is not worth the headache. You're probably losing money on it.
Yeah.
And we don't take into consideration that, because we're just chasing the dollar. We think it's about the revenue. What can we go create and bring into the business? Not what does it really take for us to do this work. And what I find a lot of times is that it's not just you that's not happy. Like,
Yeah.
your guys hate doing that work as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely found that as being an issue as well. You're not bringing that culture,
Mhm.
that motivation of wanting to be here and work, wanting to, keep doing these projects. Instead, it's like, oh, I'm learning on the job. It's taking me longer than expected. The boss is pushing me even more. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
I love it. Well, so I don't get to talk to people that are like right in the middle of the transition. I either talk to people that are full blown in the construction business,
Yeah,
or they're full blown helping people in the construction business.
yeah,
So you have a very unique perspective right now.
yeah.
And I would like to understand, how does that impact each side of your business?
Well, the personal side is it's a time management thing. Having an operation where we're focusing on helping contractors grow their business, marketing, and all that, and then actually being a general contractor. And I'll throw one more thing in there. I am the only instructor in Wichita, Kansas that actually teaches guys and women how to get their general contractor's license as well.
Mm.
So, I ain't saying I'm spread thin, but I got a lot of little different things going, but it's all in the same market or industry.
Yeah. Yes, but I mean, that allows you to have, the more of a feel you have on the industry, you probably understand your local market better than anybody
Yeah.
around. Do you help guys nationwide or more locally to where you're at?
We have clients all over the United States, but that was the other problem. I had to draw back a little bit and start focusing on what I knew. And what I know is the Kansas market, not
Mhm.
the New Orleans market, not the Florida market, but I can help you in the process of putting your business together, but not so much as building your company with the lead gen and all of those things. That's not my focus right now.
I love it, man. Like, that right there to me is so awesome, because you don't hear very many guys that have the experience, have the know-how,
just be like, hey, here's what I realized is like, I'm really good in this market and I am going to help people grow in this market.
Yeah.
I can get you up and going, but you're going to have to find somebody after me quickly
Yeah.
to go do that. That is like, to me, that's so important. And that just shows your ability to just understand what you're good at. It sounds like you have a lot of that going on right now. You've just realized what you're really good at and you're just going to execute.
Yeah, well, I'm looking still to build the team around that so that it's not just me executing, it's us executing. And that's even with other contractors. So some of my partners right now are actually contractors that they're not so good at the sales, but they're good at the operations in the field. So we just combine that and boom, now we got a winning team.
Yeah, and that right there is something I don't think guys think about enough, especially in their local markets, because we get all competitive.
Yeah,
Everything's all about being who can I beat, what can I do, but why not just focus on your strength and
yeah,
partner with somebody that has the opposite strength, and then you dominate, and then you don't have to worry about doing shit you suck at.
man. Yep. Yeah, that's what makes the big difference, man, for us here is that, like I tell everybody, man, it's enough bathrooms for everybody. There's enough kitchens for everybody. There's enough projects out there for I don't need to compete. I'd rather work together so we can all win. What's the win-win situation?
Well, yeah, that is like that's the mindset we have to have. We have to have a mindset of abundance that the work is there. Like
Mm-hmm.
in your market, there is no way possible that you could do every project.
No, no. Well, think about this, though, too, Ron. Our industry is failing because we're not bringing that new talent in, right? There's a lot of people that wake up and say, I'm going to be a contractor because it's that easy to get in, to put a tool bag on and go serve a customer, whether you do it correctly or you fail. But as a real contractor, when you're licensed and you know what you're doing, that's a rare thing.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the truth. We're in an industry, it's the barrier to entry is pretty low. Like
Yes.
there's some stuff, but for the most part, you can go figure out how to do it, right or wrong, and
Yeah.
go win jobs.
Yeah.
Like if you're good at sales, you can go win jobs.
Yes.
Like when you talk about partnering up with somebody that's even maybe better at the building aspect, like being humble enough to know, like, I'm not the best builder or operations side of guys, but I'll tell you what, I can close the projects. I can get the
Yeah.
homeowner excited about what we're doing,
Yeah.
and then going and finding somebody that can deliver on that. Because
Yes.
that's where, as a construction industry, we fail is
Absolutely.
delivering on the expectations we set.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely been there. So that's why I speak from experience, you know. So, delivering everything now, that's the way you become successful. Being able to under promise and over deliver. That's the key.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
you're building multiple aspects of your
yeah,
construction business, your consulting business as well. You
yeah,
just bought a building. You're helping people become general contractors as
yeah.
well. What does this look like from a team building perspective? Are you building multiple teams or a real just coherent to your other team?
So I run three operations under an umbrella, right? So the holding company, then you got the marketing company that does marketing for every venture, right? Which is Contractor Envy. And then our affordable baths and kitchens is a whole nother operation where it's different sales. All right. Accountants the same all across the board except the bookkeeper. And the CRM system that I use, just throwing this in here, is something that I use across the board too for each operation. So it's separate teams, but a conglomerate of with our holding company overseeing all the smaller operations. That team is overseeing everything.
Okay. Yeah, that
Does that
makes
make
sense.
sense?
Yeah, no, that
Okay.
does. I like to get some clarity for guys out there because I hear
Yeah.
it all the time. is I want to have this and I want to do this. How should I structure this?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily get guys on here all the time that are actually doing it, that
Yeah.
have multiple businesses happening. Now,
Yeah.
you're all in on the baths and kitchens. You're
Yeah.
all in on the coaching. You're all in on moving the industry forward.
Yeah.
We're about ready to close 2024 out here.
Yeah.
What do you see happening in 2025 that excites you?
For me or for the industry?
For both, like what's got you on fire right now that you feel everybody should be on fire about?
Well, I don't know about everybody else. Let me answer that second. For me, it's finally putting those processes in place that will allow us to run a business based on that business's brand and not me. All right. So that's what I'm excited about, having a real business, a real team that can operate without me being there. All right. And then, for the industry, I mean, I honestly am a little worried about the industry, but for the guys who are really doing it, the market's opening up. It's not seasonal, it's 24/7. So, we're getting into winter. Excites me is that the phone's still ringing. I know there's plenty of leads out there. The lead generation market is changing in favor of the contractor as well, to where, it is going to be less competitive there if you know how to use those lead gen services as well. So just excited, man, that, next year could be that growth period for all of us if we, work together as a community and communicate and put some of those great ideas out there so we all can win.
Awesome. I love it. But you opened it up. I have to ask, is the concerns about the industry as well? Because let's dive down that. What concerns you about the industry?
Again, talent. It's definitely, customers are not educated anymore. There are a lot of customers out there that price shop, and there's the contractors that you might as well say they price shop too, because they don't have a process. They don't have set prices. They go in for what they can get. All right. They look, and there's a double-edged sword. They might go into, these $500,000 areas, the price goes up. Then they go into the lower areas, the price goes down. Or they just automatically just shoot for the low ball to try to win. And that's what's killing the market, because the customer doesn't understand what they get with that. They get a person that, regardless of the situation, a lot of them, they're not qualified to do the job. And I'm not just beating them up just because of the price. They're not qualified to do the job because the customer is getting things covered up and not being educated again on what needs to be done correctly for it to come out right and last for longevity.
What you're talking about is one of the things I absolutely hate
Yeah.
about the construction industry is if you are a guy that does not have standardized pricing and your pricing literally fluctuates because of the neighborhood you are in, you are so wrong. And you are doing such a disservice to not just your business, but to the customers in the entire construction industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what, for last year, I started serving veterans, and that opened my eyes up to a lot of purpose, right? Saying what I'm doing is actually helping someone. So when you're now looking at your service as being a service to a family, that you're trying to do the right thing and leave it with the right results and keep them, make their life better, then, man, you got to know what you're doing, man. You got to have some pride into how you go about getting these jobs and the pricing that you have. I'm not trying to get rich on one job, you know.
You just gave me chills, man. I mean, where you work in kitchens is where people's entire life happens.
Yes.
It's where every morning I get ready with my son while he eats breakfast before I take him to school.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, my wife makes dinner and we eat dinner at the table in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And like guys in the construction industry don't realize that we're impacting people's lives. When
Yeah.
you go in and you do a great kitchen renovation, it's the life center of that home for that family. And
Yeah.
they're going to spend the next 10, 15 years there raising their kids, having important conversations, making life decisions over top of cabinets and counters and flooring that you guys put in.
Yeah.
And the guys miss that.
Yeah. Throw in also the experience doing the construction, because that's very important too. As how is your process, and I say this over and over, how is your process during the construction that makes it easier for the customer too?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying. I love everything you're doing.
Yeah.
For all the champions out there listening, if they ever wanted to connect with you, follow you, learn more about what you're doing, where's the best places for them to do that?
I mean, type in contractor envy. And when you hear that, contractor envy, they say, why envy? Because what contractor doesn't want to be the best? All right? What contractor don't want other contractors hating on them? You know, just not to make it a competitive thing. It's like you want to look good and you want to be at the top of your game. So just type in contractorenvy.com. We're across the board, or getmygclicense.com if you're looking to get help on your business, and we'll pop up. Google search, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you're at. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I love it. And thank you for taking the time and being on the show today.
Man, I appreciate you too. And I look forward to listening to you every Monday, that is, right?
Yeah, every Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday, man. I appreciate the time.
Awesome, man. All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag where Kevin touches on one of the most key things you can do, and that is figure out what you want to do and just do it.
Yeah.
The days of, I know we call ourselves general contractors because that is the term that the states give us. You go get your general contractor's license, you can do construction. In layman's terms, you can do whatever you want. But you shouldn't. You should figure out not only what do you enjoy, what did your team do really, really good, what are you most profitable at, and what can you actually deliver on to your clients?
Yeah.
If you're doing a bunch of different things, you should be able to go figure out exactly what's profitable, what's not. I've told this story many times on here. We used to do everything from a basement perspective, including finishing them, and quickly found out that we could not make a penny finishing a basement.
Yeah.
Our guys hated doing it. We weren't good at it. We could not sub it out and be good at it. And we could just not make money. Every finished basement we sold was our biggest ticket item we sold, and we lost money on every one of them.
Wow.
So you know what we decided to do? We stopped finishing basements.
Man.
We found people that wanted to do that, and we just gave the lead over to them.
Yeah.
And it completely changed our business, the staff, everything improved by making that one decision.
Yep.
So take the time, figure out what it is. As we're headed into 2025, what are you going to take off your plate? What are you no longer going to do? What does not serve you, your customers, or your employees going forward?
Yep.
So champions, make sure you go check out all of our fantastic sponsors. All of Kevin's links are in the show notes. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
Ever found yourself revisiting a project because of a small miscommunication? It's frustrating and costly. That's why I switched to BuilderComms. Their construction communication management solution cuts through the noise, ensuring my team is always on the same page. Now, missteps are rare and rework is a thing of the past. Ready to streamline your projects? Check out BuilderComms today.
Introducing HomeTrack. We create digital new home profiles using homeowner specifications, pictures, and warranty policies, replacing the large paper binders normally provided by home builders to their buyers. We also digitize the final blue tape walkthrough and instantly create a punch list that both builders and homeowners can track until a resolution. By simplifying the handover process, we are saving home builders time and money.